Hi, my name is Anna Clark, and in this video we're going to be covering manual restraints, the practical. We use manual restraints when any horse is getting any kind of unsafe to any degree. When handling a horse, horses can be dangerous and they're very strong and very large animals. So we use manual restraints to make handling them as safe as possible. We often use them if the horse protests to farrier work, if we restrain them when they get dental work done, if they have any kind of wound, or if we need to restrain them to do any kind of vet work like shots or anything like that, just making handling a protesting horse safer and easier. To start, I'm going to begin talking about the chain over the nose. To use the chain over the nose, you're going to start with a haltered horse and a lead rope with a chain attached to the end of it. So you're going to take the end of the chain and run it through the side that you're working on, the side that you are standing on. You're going to run it through the lower loop of the halter and pull it through and just lay it over their nose quietly, as quiet as possible. And then you're going to loop it once, but you're just going to lay it over the nose and go through the bottom of the opposite side loop. You can switch sides at this point and then run it through that loop and clip it to the top loop of the opposite side halter loop. Then you're going to adjust it with your hands as quiet and easily and as slowly as possible, just to pulling it snug, so that there's no extra pieces looping anywhere. We never want to loop the chain in any way that they can get their hoof stuck in or anything like that. And we want to do so as quietly as possible to not spook them. Some horses don't like the sound of the chain or the vibration of moving the chain on their face. So we just need to do this as quietly and efficiently and effectively as possible. Next, we're going to talk about the lip chain. You need the same lead rope with the chain on the end of it. You're going to kind of do the same thing that you did with the chain over the nose. You're going to run the end of the chain through the bottom hole of the halter, bottom loop of the halter that you're on the same side as. You're going to just lay it over the top of the nose, and there should be no looping of the noseband of the halter and the chain. You're just going to lay it over the top of the nose and push it through the opposite hole of the halter, and then clip it to the top loop of the halter, like you did with the chain over the nose. Then you're going to, with the slack over the nose, you're going to just slowly, gently push the chain up onto their gums. We want to make sure that there is minimal banging of the chain on their teeth, because that can be painful, and we want to make sure that the chain is all the way up at the top of their lungs so that it does not slide onto their teeth. You're going to do so by pushing the chain up onto the top of their gums and slowly pulling the slack out of the halter, or out of the lead rope of the chain. To use the lip twine, it's kind of the same process. You're going to take a long piece of baling twine and you're going to fold it in half and tie it at the end. On the opposite side that you're going to be holding the horse, you're going to make a loop on that lower loop, that lower hole of the halter, and lay the baling twine over the nose of the horse, and then run the end where you tied it through the opposite hole of the halter, opposite loop. And then you're going to clip your lead rope to the end of that loop that you tied the twine with. You're going to take the twine like you did with the lip chain, and you're going to slowly slide it up over onto the top of their gums, minimizing the amount of teeth contact as possible. And you're going to do so by pulling the excess out of the twine with the end of the lead rope, like you did with the lip chain. The difference between the lip chain and a lip twine, some people say the lip chain is more severe than the lip twine, which is mostly true, but the lip twine can be actually more severe depending on the pressure that you pull down in the lead rope with, because there's less surface area that the twine has on the gums. It can be more painful more effective in some cases than the lip chain because of the smaller surface area. Next, I'm going to talk about the twitch. So the twitch is a long wooden pole with a loop of twine at the end of it. To use this, you're going to want to get it on the horse as fast as possible and twist and not let go. Ideally, the horse doesn't thrash, but sometimes it does. You just want to make sure that you have enough muzzle in that twine that it stays on for as long as you need it to, so that it's going to be secure. When you get the twitch on the horse, do not let go of the pole, of the end of the twitch, because if you do so, it becomes a weapon. It can whack people and it can be really hard to get off the horse, and you have to catch it, and it is just a problem. And can be dangerous. So do not let go of the end of the twitch. To put a twitch on a horse, you're going to take the loop and put it around your fingers, and then grab as much muzzle as possible, and then slip the twine over the muzzle, as much muzzle as you can, and twist all in the same motion, so that you get as much muzzle as possible and it becomes secure by twisting it. You need to do this as fast as possible, because as soon as the horse realizes what you're doing, he or she may thrash. So we don't want that, because then you may miss, or you may not get enough muzzle, and then the horse then you have to redo it, and when you redo it, the horse knows what's coming, so it's a lot harder. So we use a twitch pretty often when we use it for farrier work. We use it if the horse is wounded and needs we need to get their attention. The next manual restraint I'm going to talk about is the shoulder roll. The shoulder roll is only used when there is no tools at all for you to restrain a horse, and the horse needs restrained as fast as possible. It's not a strong restraint, but it is an attention getter, and it can be used in a pinch, but it also does not last long because it's tiring to hold on to. So you're going to, at the base of the neck and where the shoulder begins, in that little triangle where you give the horse shots, you're going to grab some skin and you're going to just roll your hand. This kind of pinches the skin, and in doing so it secures your hand, and it gets their attention. It's not usually that painful, but it gets their attention for whatever is needed to restrain that horse, for however long it is needed to restrain that horse until you get another manual restraining tool. Next, I'm going to talk about the leg lift. The leg lift is also not a manual restraint that you would use for a long amount of time, but you may use it if the horse is trying to kick at someone while cleaning the udders or the sheath. You may use it if the horse is not letting the farrier pick up one foot. A horse cannot stand on, a horse needs both legs on one side to stand on. So say a horse is kicking with its hind left leg, you would want to pick up the front left leg because it cannot stand with those feet, if that makes sense. So a horse can stand, it would be ineffective if you picked up the right front. If the horse was kicking on the left hind, it would be ineffective if you picked up the right front, because it can stand on diagonals, but it can't not stand on the same side. So if I had someone cleaning the horse's sheath and it was kicking with its right hind, I would pick up the left leg, and I would use my hands on the hoof only, and you're going to pick the leg up and pick it up as high as it will possibly go, and in doing so, you should point the toe up. So if the body of the horse was here, the toe would be pointing up onto the body, and you're going to be pointing the toe up using your hand on the hoof. You're going to hold this here as long as needed. Like I said, it's tiring, and so it's not something that's effective for a long amount of time, but it does help when the horse is trying to kick with another leg and you need to secure that leg. The last restraint I'm going to talk about is the chemical restraints, and we use acepromazine, rompin, and ditomidine. Acepromazine and rompin use 1 to 4 cc's for both of them, and then ditomidine, you use 1/4 to 1/2 cc's. Only IV. The other two you can do IV or IM. IV takes about 8 to 10 minutes to take effect, and IM takes about 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes 15 to 20 minutes to take effect. That is all for manual restraints. Thank you.